These are honestly the best $50 over-ear headphones, and it's not even close. Just listen to this feature list. For $50, you get active noise cancellation, transparency mode, mics for calls, physical buttons, an app for basic EQ, great build quality, and great sound quality that's worth honestly double the price. If you had that list of features, you'd probably think that you were spending $200+ or even up to $400 from the top brands like Sony or Bose. But these headphones have all that functionality for $50. And that's what Wyze does day in and day out with their products. They make budget products that hit maybe 80% of the flagship experience, but at 20% of the cost. I will mention that Wyze consistently does significant sales on their products, and $50 is the price that they are at the time of recording, but depending upon when you purchase and if you buy the travel case as well, it may cost a little more. However, when you make a product that is this cheap, you are going to have some drawbacks, so let's get into what using these headphones daily is actually like. First, the sound. I'm by no means an audiophile, and it's really hard to quantify sound because everyone has different preferences in that space, but I'd give these a B tier in my book. It's not flagship by any means, but I can still enjoy listening to music with them, and they do also have an app that allows you to be able to adjust the sound to your liking, so if you prefer a little bit more bass, you can do that, or balance it out yourself. It's not a full EQ, just some simple adjustments. Most sound quality reviewing sites also kind of put it into this B tier space as well. Beyond sound quality, these headphones also come with ANC, active noise cancellation, and transparency mode. On the ANC end, I'd give it a B. It does sometimes give me that pressure feeling in my ears from the sound cancellation, but it does do a decent job of canceling out white noise, which really helps you be able to focus in on whatever you're listening to. The transparency mode, on the other hand, could use some work. I'd give it a C here. It's functional and good enough if I'm just having a brief conversation, but the mics aren't the highest quality, and if I were having any type of extended conversation, I'd just take them off. It's a pretty big contrast from my AirPods Pros, which have best-in-class transparency mode, but the AirPods Pros also cost 5 times as much, so not exactly an even battle. The battery life on these is also really good. That is the case for most headphones these days, but you get 20+ hours of audio playback on a single charge, so for me, I'm only charging them about once a week or so. So I give them an A- in this space. But like I said, most headphones are going to give you a good battery life experience, but it's still a green flag to have. Now let's touch on the build quality and comfort. The build is a mix of both metal and plastic. It feels solid, and the ear adjustments are nice and snappy, and the hinges work great even folding all the way in, so they rest well around your neck. I'd be tempted to give them another A- in this space if it weren't for one thing, and that is the ear cup. The ear cups are pretty comfortable, and they do use some great memory foam that they also use on the headband, which is comfy too, but they do start to get hot around my ears after I've been using them for too long. They don't breathe the best, and I only really start to notice it after an hour plus of not taking them off and listening to music, but it's something that you should keep in mind, especially if you're wanting to use these to work out in. So for that reason, I'm going to give them a B+ for quality and comfort. Just a few random features I've also been happy to have is the actual headphone jack for when I don't want to use Bluetooth, and they also have physical buttons on the headphones themselves for basic controls. They do have some gesture controls from the ear cups themselves, but I find them to be a little bit unreliable, so having the physical buttons is great. I bought a black set of these when they first came out 4 years ago, but after 4 years, I dropped them one too many times and they broke, so I got another set. But I wasn't even that sad about it because of how cheap it was to buy a new pair. If I had done the same thing to a pair of Sony XM6s, then I'd be distraught because I'd be out $450. So overall, these headphones are a B tier product in my opinion, but they come in at a C- tier product price point, which makes them a great value. So if you're targeting that sub $50 or even sub $75 space in headphones, you'd have a hard time finding a better set than these. So for that reason, it's an easy recommend in my book. Hope this helps. Peace.